Welcome to Faith Positive Radio with Dr. Joey Fawcett, the Christian business coaching conversation that increases your faith with greater joy at work so you love God and others more. Dr. Joey interviews Christian business professionals just like you to discover their secrets for working faith positive in a negative world. Welcome to Faith Positive Radio with Dr. Joey Fawcett.
Faith Positive Nation, you know how you get stuck sometimes, whether it's in your faith or in your work, and you want to move it forward, right? And you know up here what you ought to do, but somehow in here finding the strength, or being a good Southerner, I would say the gumption, right, to move forward and do it just seems elusive. It's at that point where you find yourself needing a little bit of help from someone else. Today's guest is one of those persons who can help you to move forward because he's a coach. And he's an amazing coach whom I've had the ability or the great privilege of knowing about his abilities for some time now, as we've been friends for a few years now. So it really gives me a great deal of pleasure, Faith Positive Nation, to introduce to you today my friend who's going to help you move forward in your faith and your work, Dr. Andy Wood of lifevesting.com. Andy, welcome to Faith Positive Radio, man.
Thank you, Dr. Joey. It's good to see you and to connect here and to connect with the people who are your listeners and viewers.
Faith Positive Nation is an amazing place all around the world. Christian business professionals are increasing their faith with greater joy at work so they love God and others more. And so today they get to hear from my brother, Andy Wood, who this very day is in Mobile. You like the way I said that? Mobile, Alabama.
You almost say it like the locals do. That's not too bad.
Well, I've been down there a time or two, and I love Mobile Bay.
Absolutely.
And my partner, Jane Cresswell, almost has me saying Mobile like a native Alabamian.
Yeah, like you're supposed to.
But the big question is, you're from Alabama, so is it War Eagles or Roll Tide?
I don't live in Auburn. I live in Alabama.
Enough said.
Hey, I come from a long line of Auburn fans. I was 5 years old. I made that statement to them then. It still makes sense to me now. If I ever move to Auburn, God bless them, I'll pull for Auburn. But in the meantime, I live in Alabama. So
Roll Tide. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't necessarily just have to move to Auburn. You could move to Opelika.
That would be kind of plan B.
Close enough.
Opelika doesn't have a university, so yeah, we could do that.
But aren't you?
I actually pull for Auburn. I like them. I don't hate Auburn. My son, he's another story, but
yeah,
I tried my best. But so I do come from a long line of Auburn fans. Have some in the family. Have a nephew who graduated from there. Still wasn't good enough for me. But anyway, two great schools, obviously, and make the state proud. When we're not fighting each other, we're really on.
By the way, everybody I know from Alabama, this is the question I ask them. So,
that's because when you move to this state, that's the first question they want to know. Who you for?
That's right.
Well, I'm from Michigan. No. I don't care where you're from. Who you for?
That's right. Therein lies the difference, right?
Got to make a choice.
Whether we're going to sit down at the table with you or not. Wonderful.
Right.
So you moved to Alabama from another great state.
Yes, I was in West Texas. I actually grew up in Mobile, but was in West Texas for 18 years and have offspring still there. We have actually our practice, the Life Vesting Group, has a counseling office there. And as well as one here in Mobile. And so I have some great friends there, was pastor of a church there, taught at a local university there. And one of the things I found as I moved to Texas kicking and screaming is that the heart of a Texan is as big as his state. And some of the finest people I've ever lived and worked with are there.
It's a great republic. Texas.
It really is.
Yeah, it is. And every time I go to Texas, I say I'm glad to be back in the great Republic of Texas. I used to say the great country of Texas because they're really a country unto themselves.
They are.
But I was quickly corrected that it's a republic in Texas. You got to love it. So Andy Wood of lifevesting.com, you're a coach to business people, helping them connect their faith and their work. What does the average day look like for you, man?
The average day looks like doing one of two things, either cultivating relationships with people that I can encourage and help, or working with my current clients, helping them get from where they are today to where they want to go. A lot of times, the most fundamental question people ask about coaching is, what is that? And we use the word to refer to the guy that yells at referees on the sideline in the fall, or
like Nick Saban.
Hey. Yes,
right.
like him, or
Holy Father,
right? So, or somebody who does, some kind of athletic something, but the very word for coach in English goes back to the Cinderella days. The coach was the carriage that took you from where you are to where you want to go. The coach was the carriage that took Cinderella to the castle. And what I explain to people is this is what I do for you, and what all good coaches do, is we help people understand the gap between where they are today and where they want to be. And if they don't know where they want to go, then we help them clarify what's important to you, where are your values, where is that going to take you. And so we encourage people to imagine their life 6 months down the road, 3 years down the road, in a life in which all their dreams have come true, and then go back and compare that to life where it is today, and assume a life 3 years from now where absolutely nothing has changed. I get the scar. Look, like, really? Like, yeah, nothing. And it's like, in between is the something we call the gap. And my job is to help you to get from where you are today to where you want to go. I don't tell you where to go. I help you figure out your own sense of calling, your own sense of purpose, your relationship with God, your own business. I coach 6 different insurance clients, and I don't know anything about selling insurance. I know about people who sell insurance. I don't know anything about pastoring. Well, yeah, I do, because I was one, but I know people who are pastors. I don't know a whole lot about leadership in a lot of different technical fields. I don't have to, because it's not my job to give advice. It's my job to be a companion of the heart.
Companion of the heart. I like that. Now, what does that look like, engaging your faith as a companion of the heart?
Well, as a believer, one of the things I have the opportunity to do when somebody's right in the middle of the funk, or right in the middle of trying to figure out life, is to simply ask, where's God in all this? And what are you sensing from him? What's he showing you? What's he revealing to you about himself? What's he revealing to you about you? But also, as a companion of the heart, get to walk beside other people. The Greek word, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but the Greek word for Holy Spirit means to call yourself alongside, parakaleo, to call yourself alongside someone. Jesus referred to him as a comforter or as a counselor. That's what he does. He walks beside us. But the beautiful thing is, he also empowers his people to do the same thing. And one of the places where I believe my primary role is, if I'm not communicating truth with passion, I'm personally encouraging other people. That's my life mission. That's what God has called me to do. And so part of that is learning to walk at your pace until eventually you're walking at mine. And so I'm listening, I'm encouraging, I'm challenging sometimes, I'm kicking you in the rear end sometimes. I'm doing what it takes to help you get where you yourself said you wanted to go. Not where I think you should go, but where you want to go. Right.
And so accountability is a part of the journey.
It's a huge part of that. Because, on a typical call, and a lot of what I do by phone. And so on a typical call, the first thing I ask is, well, what do you want to accomplish today? And the next question I ask is, what did you accomplish? We agreed on some things last week. Tell me how that worked out for you. And, a lot of times they have big success stories. Sometimes they don't. But either way, I at least ask the question. And that's where accountability comes in.
So really what I hear you saying is that instead of being a consultant who comes in and writes a report and is the expert, you really see your clients as the experts in where God wants them to go.
Yeah, that is actually the difference between a consultant and a coach.
Mm-hmm.
A consultant comes in with expertise. Now, you want to hire me as a consultant? I've got a Ph.D. We can have that talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I have found that it's a much more profitable enterprise to come in knowing that I don't know nothing, particularly grammar. That I don't know. I don't know the technical sides of your business, but that's actually an advantage because that puts you in the position of being the expert. And I just get to come along and ask you needling kinds of questions about, life and being a human and being a believer and about how you want to advance forward. And so you become the expert. My challenge is to call out the expertise in you that you haven't discovered yet.
So there's some God-given expertise that's lying dormant within me that you help me discover.
Absolutely.
So how do you help me discover that dormant?
Asking quality questions. And so one of the cool things, the two coolest things that can happen in a coaching session, one is this period of extended silence where nobody's talking. And the other is when someone says, after that period of silence, that's a good question. Because that lets me know your wheels are turning. You're processing through. And I may have an idea where I think you may want to go, or I may see it before you do. But it's not my job to tell you that. It's my job just to let you discover. And what I have found also is a lot of times what I think the answer is going to be and what you actually land on is is very different. And what you find is far more brilliant than I could have ever made up for you. It's a time to create a space where you can be free to think, to dream, and to partner with somebody who has only one ambition in your life, only one, and that is for your personal success. There's only one person on the planet other than God. There's only one person on the planet whose only agenda in your life is your own success, and that's your coach. Everybody else has skin in the game. Everybody else has something they want from you.
Yeah, they're there to take, but
vested interest is your success, whatever
that
is.
Right. So you as a coach come alongside a business professional to give.
Absolutely.
And you define your success by their success.
Absolutely. And if you don't succeed, then somewhere I haven't done my job.
Wow. So how does your faith enter into this? Do you just work with Christians or do you work with pre-believers?
No, it's not a requirement. It helps, but it's not a requirement. I do have an intake form that I use that where they at least acknowledge that they're working with a Christian coach and that's okay with them. So, I meet them where they are, whatever that looks like. But one of the places where my faith really interacts is when I'm not on a coaching call with them. I carry these people. I pray for them. They're in my oven baking even long before we have a coaching session. And so,
wow.
I also use their experience to grow personally, and I use it to build on the relationships I have with other people, obviously without divulging confidentialities and things like that, but just the life principles, things like that I've learned. Because one of the things I found is sometimes one person has to show up for the whole bunch. And so for every person I'm coaching, there's a whole bunch of people out there who are dealing with the same issue. They just haven't made the call yet. Yeah,
one person raises their hand and says, here's what I'm going through. And that one person is representative of thousands.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What kind of challenges do you see Christian business professionals facing today out in the marketplace?
Two things. The challenge of the possibility that the marketplace is the church of the future, and that's a good thing. People are not waking up on Sunday mornings anymore going, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go to church today. I've never been to one before, but hey, it just seems to be the thing to do.
Yeah.
They don't. And if they have a problem, they go see a shrink, and so they go see my wife. But so that whole come in here kind of mentality in the church is not happening anymore to any extent. but we are finding glorious opportunities for the marketplace to be the church of the future. And so, but that's a challenge, because if you've gone to business school, or if you're an entrepreneur and you started your own business, most of us didn't start it going, I wonder how I can tell people about Jesus in this process. Then again, there are others who actually have done that. And so,
Sure.
But just to know that as a believer, sometimes if you're a believer and you're the business owner, you may be the only believer your employees ever see. And the opportunity to be salt and light to them, to be an encouragement to them, to function as something of a quasi-chaplain to them, can often be a tremendous challenge, but a great opportunity if you get the training and understanding, and just, if nothing more than just praying for your employees. The other challenges, though, are coming from an increasingly hostile culture. We are trying to strip God not just out of the courthouse, but out of the marketplace in general. And we serve, or we operate in a culture that is increasingly hostile to the message of the cross of Jesus. Now, this is nothing new. You read the Bible, that happened, but it's something that in America we've been spoiled by. Freedoms that we've had in the past. I think we've indulged those freedoms. I think we've at times not represented ourselves well with those freedoms. And so there's a really pushback right now to all that. And it's coming in the form of things like government mandated kinds of coverage of insurance. Hobby Lobby had that fight.
Right.
Other kinds of things where the people and the institutions that used to be our friends aren't our friends anymore. And we can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to trust the government, that it's going to allow me to practice my freedom of religion. Now, good luck with that, and tell us how it turned out.
Yeah, really.
And so that's a challenge. Now, I think God is bigger than that challenge. And I think that there are some gracious and kind and yet firm ways to deal with that, and to still take a stand on our ethics and our principles and our morals and things like that. But it's definitely a challenge. It's not the kind of thing you want to be going through by yourself.
So how do I, in the marketplace, in my workplace, how do I find other Christians and share that journey with somebody else?
Well, first you call me and let me be your coach, and then from there we'll explore. I'm just half kidding. No, what you do, there are Christian organizations out there, some outstanding, a lot of local organizations, Christian businessmen's associations,
sure,
things like that. Full Gospel Businessmen's Association, still around and still does good work.
Sure.
So
but what if I don't want to join an organization or something like that? What if, let's say I'm going to work each day, and what do I look for in other people who are believers like myself,
who are like-minded?
Yeah.
Well,
you're talking about, we need encouragement. We don't need to
Right.
go journey alone. How do I find those people? Because I'm less likely, just as I'm less likely to go to church now, I'm also less likely to seek out one of these other organizations.
There are some people that advertise that way. We have a little code in our fish.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. On the side of the fish. Yeah. One of the words that I hear a lot in terms of code languages, have a blessed day. When somebody says have a blessed day, I kind of go
like that, or how you doing? Blessed, greatly. So sometimes seeing paraphernalia, and that's probably not the right word to use, but if somebody has a cross they're showing somewhere, or a fish or something, that just tries to quietly go about saying, I'm a believer, but I'm not cramming it down your throat, that kind of deal.
Sure.
One of the things I would strongly encourage, I'm actually a part of one, I lead one, and I'm looking to form another one, is a group of business people, business owners, into a mastermind group, where we come together, a couple times a month, and we meet by Zoom, which is what you and I are doing today. And we just share our challenges. We talk about whether it's business success or whether it's ministry in the marketplace, whatever it looks like, kind of looking at that multiple challenges and tensions that we all have. it's helpful to actually find someone who's interested in pulling together these different places. And one of the beautiful things about technology is that we can do this now with people all over the country and technically all over the world. And so, I have one that meets, and we've got a guy in Alaska and then people all over the Southeast. This is a mastermind group for ministry. The one I'm a member of, we have people from Minnesota, Texas, Alabama, and New York City in that one. And then another one I'm a member of, we have people literally all over the country. And so getting together with like-minded people, investing a little bit to be a part of it, a monthly kind of something, and then, but doing it specifically as Christ-centered business owners, where we come together to support each other, pray for one another, trade ideas, trade ideas for business success, employee management, conflict resolution, leadership, all the things that business owners deal with, but from a Christ-centered perspective. So that's one of the things I'm actually looking forward to putting together, and something we can have some future conversations about.
Yeah. So in my workplace, what I want to do is find someone, what I hear you saying is who thinks beyond themselves.
Yep.
And displays some Christ-like qualities, so they may be caring for other people, have a servant mentality. You see them display those servant actions in the marketplace. And then you just approach them and say, hey, I noticed what you did for Susie over there. That was really kind of you. Her mom just died, and I saw you reaching out to her. Let's go have lunch. And you just go get to know each other better. Because it seems like it's so easy, Andy, for people to suffer in isolation and to think, I'm the only Christian in this workplace.
Absolutely. When all else fails, go find the Chick-fil-A owner locally. He's probably, if he's not a believer, he at least gets along with him. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Odds are, right?
Organizations that stand out. Chick-fil-A is one of them, obviously. In-N-Out Burger is one. Publix supermarkets, amazing organization. United Supermarkets in Texas, great organization. H-E-B in Texas is another grocery chain and very led by very Christ-centered people. Hobby Lobby, all those kinds of people. So there are places out there that they get it, that their first obligation is to serve and to add value to other people's lives. And people seem to be drawn to them because of the classy way they teach their employees how to treat people, because of the excellence with which they do whatever it is they do, and the kindness. And so and so you look for cultivating those kinds of relationships.
Well, you got the golden rule undergirding all your customer service, right? And so when you got that kind of due north principle, as Steve Covey would say, it really guides you well. So if I'm in the workplace, I'm sensing that I may be rather isolated, or I'm wondering if there are other Christians I observe, and then move forward to discover, just to build relationships, which I think that's what the Great Commission's about anyway, as you're going. Isn't that what it says? So go out there and make disciples. What other challenges do you see Christian business folks encountering in the workplace, and how do they step up and meet those challenges?
Balance. The number one challenge that I see in my clients is, how do I balance success in the marketplace or business success? I want to grow and multiply my business, but I don't want to lose my family to do it. I still want to give to the community. I still want to participate in my local church. I want to do all these things, and I pull in all these different directions. And yet, how do I find the true north that can kind of guide me? How do I learn to say no graciously, but say yes to the things that matter the most? How do I continue to give to my husband or wife, or to my children, when I'm exhausted at the end of the day? Or what good does it do if I build a great business and I lose my family in the process? one of the constant challenges that I work with clients on is figuring that out, looking at how it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both and. But you've got to have a lot of wisdom and a lot of humility and a lot of grace to walk that out day by day. And so that's an enormous challenge that people, particularly people who own their own businesses, face, but people in any line of work.
Sure.
But certainly, the kind of people I work with are performance-based business people. So they either own their business, or they're in sales, or they're in ministry. They're in something where they have to give an account for their results, and they don't eat what they can't kill. And so and so they're constantly being put on a very measurable scale to deliver, and yet at the same time they come home, and what most of them hope is that they can come home to a refuge where it's easy and they don't have, and good luck with that. Life is challenging there, and there's demands, bills to pay, and there's braces for kids' teeth, and there's
the car just broke down.
Yep, and the wife's feeling kind of neglected, and the husband's feeling like he's tending to stuff it all by himself, and so just that challenge of pulling it all together again. I just keep reminded. I'm reminded that when Jesus came to the planet, he came with a lot of deep stuff. His genius was how he simplified everything. It just doesn't have to be that complicated. First, of God, all these things will be added to you.
Right. Love God and love others as you love yourself.
Yeah. And
pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well, it's simple, but it's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah.
So there's somebody in Faith Positive Nation, Dr. Andy Wood, who's saying to themselves, I need a coach to help me stay balanced and to meet the challenges of the workplace each day. How can Faith Positive Nation reach out to you, Andy? You got an email address?
I do. It's Andy at lifevesting, LIFEVESTING.com. Send me an email. Say, I heard you on Faith Positive, and I would like to take advantage of that special offer that you made to your Faith Positive listeners, which is a 45-minute free coaching session around getting the results you want or whatever you want to focus on. I'll send you a little questionnaire ahead of time just so we're on the same page. We're not wasting each other's time. And you get a free coaching session, and we figure out where to go from there.
That's an amazing gift. 45 minutes with Dr. Andy Wood. Simply email him at andy@lifevesting.com. Tell him you watched or heard this episode of Faith Positive Radio. He'll be glad to take good care of you. Andy, that's mighty generous, brother. We appreciate that a lot for Faith Positive Nation. So, and you'll find Andy at lifevesting.com in the episode copy there. So be sure and check that out. Andy, thank you so much for the gift of your time today, my brother. Faith Positive Nation always wants to know from our guest about a favorite Bible verse. So I'm asking for a verse or a passage. You got a favorite?
Yes.
What is it?
One of them. There's several, but one of them that I've really camped out on lately is Philippians 1:6. And I think this speaks to the heart of coaching and to the heart of what you're doing, Dr. Joey, and that is, I'm confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will finish it, will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. What God has started, he will complete.
Yes, every time. So you're not alone. You got God by your side, and God's good for his word, and he's going to finish it. Man, what a great word. Thank you so much for sharing that. Dr. Andy Wood, lifevesting.com. His email address is andy@lifevesting.com. Be sure to reach out and get a free 45-minute coaching session with him. Hurry up and email him now because his calendar is going to fill up pretty quickly. I am sure. Andy, thank you so much. We pray God's blessings on you, your incredible family, and thank you for the gift of your time and wisdom today. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Anytime.
Thanks for listening to Faith Positive Radio, the Christian business coaching conversation that increases your faith with greater joy at work so you love God and others more. Suggest guests and ask questions when you email Dr. Joey at info@getpositive.today. And be sure to get your free gift of the 5 positive business conversations to have today coaching program at getpositive.today. Until next time, may God bless you with everything your heart can hope for and more than your mind can imagine.